Hi everybody, Dan Illman here with some exciting news. DRF Formulator, the gold standard in past performance information, is now free, exclusively on DRF Bets. Join DRF Bets with the promo code WINNING, get a $250 first deposit match bonus, a $10 free bet, and free Formulator already uploaded to your account. Access Formulator's premium features, including sortable trainer stats, race replays, personalized trip notes, and lots more. Free Formulator, exclusively on DRF Bets. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, continuing with the graded stakes action at Aqueduct on Wood Memorial Saturday. Race number 11's for three-year-old sprinters, and some good ones. It's the Grade 3 Bayshore. $200,000 is the purse. We're going 7/8 of a mile. Let's take a look at this field, and it is a very competitive group. The morning line favorite is the number 9 Wit. Wit won the Grade 3 Sanford last year and was subsequently placed in a couple of Grade 1 stakes races. Wit hasn't raced, however, since early October and has a bad habit of breaking slowly.
Yeah, he really does. That could work against him here. I mean, in his defense, he does come back in a race, Dan, that probably will set up pretty well for his running style. It feels like there's enough speed in here to give this horse his best chance to win. It's just a question of, how low a price do you want to take on him?
Excellent segue to our TimeformUS pace projector. TimeformUS agrees with your assessment. Red bar, fast pace. You see the 3, the 5, the 6, all those horses close to the pace. Scaramucci has some speed as well. With the number 9, even if he does break slowly, he should get something to run at.
That's how it feels like it's going to shake out. Certainly, it feels like Dr. Jeff and, if nothing else, Dean's List is going to go forward in this race. And then we'll just see how it plays out. We'll see how fast they go.
From another mother, the number 1 went gate to wire 2 starts back, sprinting in a maiden special weight. They tried him in the Gotham. They tried to make the lead with him. Wasn't fast enough and just was facing a very good field. The problem is he's in against Dean's List once again. He's going to have to run back to that 87 buyer speed figure. That race, of course, with Lasix. No Lasix in these graded races in New York.
Right. I mean, he just didn't run well in the Gotham. Obviously, it was probably a little bit too tough for him. He just didn't run well in that race. He broke his maiden with a solid figure, 2 starts back going 7. But just in a race where he was 1 to 5 and got loose on the lead, Dan, I mean, outside of that race, he's pretty hard to make a case for in here.
He has faced good competition in his career, horses like Modonigal and Zandon, and ran in the Remsen. But yes, he is going to have to improve. And with his running style, there's a lot of other speeds in this race. The 2 is Runnin' Son of a Gun, another horse that was and also ran in the Gotham. John Toscano found a confidence-boosting spot out of town after the Gotham. Let's watch the race at Parks. Come back to this distance from the 1-turn mile of the Gotham, found a nice non-winners of one other than allowance, sat off the lead, drove down this winner, wins as much the best, wins as a favorite should.
Yeah, he wins this race pretty easily. This is an okay performance, just in the right kind of spot for him. He was up on the pace there with the runner up there, who was a big price. And then nobody really ran behind these 2, Dan. I like this effort from this horse. It doesn't make me want to bet him back in the Bayshore.
The number 3, Dr. Jeff, is a very interesting horse in this race. Now, he has speed. There are other speeds in this race. You're looking at his recent form, and you might say turf horse. I wouldn't be so hasty. He won his career debut at Belmont in an off-turf race. He was favored in the Saratoga Special in his second lifetime start, and he got caught up in a pretty fast-paced duel with a decent speed horse, and Gunite, who came back to win the Hopeful with an 83 buyer speed figure. He didn't run very well after that duel. They put him on turf, and he got back on the beam in his final start at 2. Now back on dirt. Very interesting spot for Rudy Rodriguez.
It is. I think this horse still has a lot of questions answered. To be honest, Dan, I don't know how good this horse is. To me, he was a pretty bad favorite in that Saratoga Special. And while he did get caught up contesting the pace, he was contesting it with Gunite, who finished second, and the winner, High Oak, was sitting right up close the entire way also. And this horse just was no match for those horses. He won his debut, as a main track only entrant against only 4 other horses. I don't know. He's run pretty well at times. I liked his turf win cutting back last time. I think he does have some things going for him in here at a price. I'm just not sure how good this horse is.
New York bred Juggler, 50 to 1 on the morning line. Frankie Pennington takes the mount for Juan Vasquez. This horse was a maiden winner against State Breds 2 starts back. Didn't run very well first start against winners. Let's watch that race right now. This is a starter allowance race, 50,000 for Juggler, and we see him on the outside. He's just not finishing with a lot of power. Only near to 58 buyer. He's going to need maybe a big pace collapse.
Yeah, and this was a race that set up pretty well for horses trying to rally too, Dan. He sat back in here. He's sort of following the eventual winner there, the 4, who also sat off the pace. And they're going to, the 4 is eventually going to get up. Juggler's just not doing enough to get the job done here. And obviously, this is a huge step up in class for him.
I like that Todd Pletcher, Mike, resisted the urge to run the number 5 Dean's List in the Wood Memorial. He deserved a shot after finishing second to Morello in the Gotham, but I think they realize at this point in his career, it's best for his development to keep him around one turn. He finished ahead of 3 of these horses in the Gotham, while a no-match second to Morello, who's running in the Wood. Let's watch the Gotham. Dean's List showed good speed in this race. He made the lead, but as you can see, he's under a ride while Morello is coasting. There's no closing going on in this race, and he's able to hold second.
Yeah, it just wasn't a fast pace. I mean, it was the kind of race that sort of looked like it might be run at a fast pace, and then it just wasn't, Dan. This horse got to the lead. Morello sat to his outside. He's obviously no match for that horse. He is going to last for second, but he's kind of, I don't know, lasting for second after having had all the best of it up on the lead in there, Dan. It feels like this pace might be a lot faster. That concerns me about him. While he did win his first 2 starts sprinting, I didn't think he was overly impressive winning those races. So that concerns me as well. And he's going to be a really short price in here. I mean, maybe he'll just win. Maybe this is a great spot for him. I would never bet this horse at a short price.
Highly respected is the number 6, coming off a maiden debut victory for trainer Chad Brown. Maybe this is just the spot for kind of a fresh face into the stakes ranks. Let's watch Highly Respected's career debut. It did not take much money for a Chad Brown Klarovich first-time starter. Went off at 7-1, but showed good tactical speed. This is a very professional performance. Sat off the leader, is asked for run now, and surges on by. Solid buyer as well, 83.
Yeah, I thought he ran well in this race. Obviously, he's taken a pretty significant step up in class here, but I think it's a good sign that Chad's elected to run him in this Bay Shore, Dan. I like the way that he won this race. The horse that he ran down there that was on the lead, Actualize, he actually came back and ran a terrible race here last week. So I guess that's maybe a little bit of a concern, but I like this horse. I think he has a chance to be pretty good.
The 4th place finisher, however, for Johnny Terranova went down to Tampa and won a maiden with a 95 buyer speed figure. So maybe that race is even a little better than you might think. Outkissed is the number 7, coming up from Laurel for Robbie Bales. Forrest Boyce has the mount. This one won 2 in a row, but both of those races came with Lasix against weaker competition. Let's watch Outkissed dust off 3 others, and the non-winners of 1 other than allowance last month. And again, this colt has nice tactical speed. He got up close in this race. He's just better than these horses, and this is a big step up in class.
Yeah, it is. I have no problem with them taking a shot here. He's looked pretty good winning his last 2 starts. He does have pretty easy speed, so I feel like he'll try to get forward in here, Dan, but I don't think he necessarily needs to be on the lead. We'll just see if he classes up in this race. It's also a pretty significant jump up in distance, Dan. Those last 2 wins, both at 5.5. Now he's going to go 7.
Friends, when you're playing the Aqueduct card on Saturday with your DRF Bets account, you get free formulator past performances. Click on the short comment of Scaramucci's last race. You'll be able to access this horse's replay. He stumbled very badly at the start of that stakes race at Parks, but quickly righted himself and was able to battle on the lead with a 5-2 shot. He put that horse away, made the lead, and won very, very comfortably. 80 buyer speed figure for Lupe Prasado. Now, the one concern I have is this. I've talked to Preciado, one of the better trainers in the Mid-Atlantic circuit, many times. He says he's a believer in Lasix. He does not like to run horses without Lasix. You notice that Scaramucci's career debut, his 1 bad race came without Lasix. But hey, if you want the big money in the States now, you got to run without it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's one of the things. Like the game's not hard enough, right? Dan, they got to make it a little harder and deny Lasix to these horses now in the stakes races. I don't know. This horse certainly took steps forward in his 2nd and 3rd starts. I actually liked his win last time, Dan. He contested the pace after bobbling at the start, and then he took on another challenger and turned that horse away. He improved his figure as well. This horse ran well last time.
Witt also ran well in most of his races last year for Pletcher. Now, again, for an early 2-year-old, you would think a lot of these early 2-year-olds are just blazers, the Wesley Ward types that blast out to the early lead and give their opposition no hope. Witt was the complete opposite. He just didn't break well in his races, but he would recover, get into the races, and finish them off. Now, he ran in the Champagne last time out, and he caught a freak in Jack Christopher. Didn't break well. That was okay. The pace was fast, but Arad was just glued to the rail with this horse on the turn. He got steadied a little bit. He wouldn't have won anyway. Maybe he would have gotten second.
Maybe he would have. Yeah, you're right, though. I mean, it was an interesting ride, to say the least. He just sort of got stalled behind horses there around the turn for really no reason. There was no reason for him to be in there. He didn't have a strong finish in there, but I guess I wouldn't hold that race against him. I didn't love his hopeful where he stumbled very awkwardly at the start, and I would say that that did seem to be a day where speed was pretty good at Saratoga. So maybe he was just pretty badly compromised. I don't know, Dan. I'm not betting him as the favorite. I suppose he could come back and run a pretty good race here, though. I really did like his first two starts.
I could easily win this race, but it's all about, do you want to take 2-1 or 5-2 in a big competitive field, especially off the layoff with a horse that might break poorly? Life is Great, I think, might outrun his odds. Now, he's 6-1 on the morning line. I think he might go off a little bit higher on the tote, but David knows certainly more than I do about that. In the Gotham last time out, it was kind of an in and among trip, and Eric Kensel got him to the outside, and for a brief second, he made like a 4-wide move on the turn. Looked like he was going to run a little bit. Yeah. And then he flattened out. I like him turning back in distance. I don't think he's one of those burners that needs the lead. Maybe he could work out a trip where that outside move works for him this time around.
I agree with all that stuff. I think he did run a little bit of an underrated race last time. He was never going to beat Morello in the Wingfield 2 stars back. And then when you go to the heft off the maiden one, he didn't have a great trip that day at Laurel either. So sort of dirtied up a little bit, and he might be a fair price in here.
This is a race where I'm looking for a price. Let's take a look at our selections for the Bay Shore. And again, I'm worried about the Lasix for Scaramucci. I like that he overcame that stumbling beginning last time out. I'm hoping he's not a speed crazy horse. He is going to have to prove to me that he can rate, but he's got to be a big price in this race coming in from Parks.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I thought that horse ran well last time. More than anything else, then I just sort of wanted to bet against the 2 Pletcher favorites in here. Maybe they're just going to be too good for this field, but I don't love either one of them. I was sort of torn between the 6 and the 10 as my alternatives. I feel like I probably took the easy way out with the 6, the Chad Brown horse, but I do think that horse has a chance to be okay.
Now, it was a very professional debut, and he showed he could sit off horses. That could be key in a race where we're expecting a fast pace. 6-5, 9-10 for Mike, 8-5, 10-9 for me. This is a great race, I think, on Saturday. The better betting races on the card if you're against the chalk. Yeah. It's the Bay Shore. Good luck.